Hey guys, Tacoma Comics here. How y'all doing? Um, just wanted to get this. I want to see out of the way. That sounds like a horrible way to describe your own work. I just had a super busy week, so I don't have a lot of time to do some editing. So I wanted to kind of throw together a video, go live, and show a bunch of stuff. See if anybody stops by to say hi. If not, this will be quick, and you can watch it like you watch my normal videos. You might hear my throat a little bit. Soccer season started. I've been coaching for this is my ninth year now. Girls soccer. My first year coaching varsity at my school, and we got shellacked our first game, and then we came back yesterday and won. Really, just convincing 4-2 win. Hey, Discovery Bay. Glad you got those comics, brother. I packed those nice and tight. Hope everything looked good when you got that. I've been discovered. So yeah, I was out and it was freezing cold and the wind was howling and it was just a miserable day. But it felt so good. The girls are so happy to get a win, so I was really psyched. Um, so let's what's been going on. Like I said, I don't want to make this go too long, so you can hear my throat. If I start to fall asleep, that's because I took my back medicine. I was in a car ride for 4 hours, 2 hours each way down to Vancouver, Washington. I went down to a shop called I Like Comics. Brian Michael Bendis and David Walker were doing a signing there. Got postponed because of the blizzard we had about 2 weeks ago. Blizzard. I mean, the snow we had, let's just say, it was a blizzard to us. It's snow to the parts of the country that are used to having lots of snow. But anyway, went down there. Michael Oming was going to be there. Now, I was on Twitter like yesterday, the day before, and I saw Brian Michael Bendis tweeted at Mark Russell. He's like, "Hey, you gonna stop by?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be there." So I just threw some Mark Russell books in with my Bendis and David Walker books just in case he was going to be there. And I felt like I was cyber stalking these guys. I joked about it with Bendis later. So my friend Jesse, his two kids are like the same age as my boys, and they're all good friends. They get along. We drove down in his minivan. Never been to Vancouver. It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes from Tacoma. Really nice little city. It's right across the river from Portland. And we went out to like a brew pub. They had like a restaurant seating upstairs, so kids were allowed in. Just had like a really nice sandwich and a couple beers. Then we walked over to the comic shop at 2 for signing, and the line was long. But shout out, I Like Comics, man. This is a great shop. In the line, they snaked you, so you were going past all the comics. Like the first thing you're going past is 50-cent bins. It's like, all right, I'm looking through all these. I found 2 comics I wanted. One of them I got home and I was like, oh shoot, I already have that Hans cover. I got a big haul to show later on this week. I'm still waiting for a few more things in the mail, so I'm not going to show that what I got there today. Just going to show the signed books, but it was great. My kids just sat down and sketched in their books and read their books and found comics to look at. And we were online. As I sneaked around, the store is kind of split into 2 parts with a big wall in the middle. As we sneaked around through the first part of the store and past all these glass cases, came around, I look over there, and who's checking out and buying a comic but Bueller? Shout out Bueller. I posted some pictures. It looked like I was spying on him on Instagram. He's just sitting there and he's just buying a comic. And so I said hi. He came over and we talked. We've met like twice before. Last year at Emerald City. I guess he was just starting out and he like actually found me and saw me and said hi. And then this year at Rose City, I ran into, like, we were both looking for each other and we found each other. So I've chatted with him a few times and he's just as great in person as he is on, his videos and stuff. So, some cookies. So that was pretty cool. And then it took about an hour and a half to sneak through this line, probably. Everybody's got phones these days, so time just passes. I got down to Bendis, and Walker was there, and Bendis was there, and my son went up, and I don't do Facebook anymore, but I know that I have a picture on Facebook the first time my son met Bendis, and he was like, this is like 3 years ago, and he was really young. His hair was short, and now he's like talking to Bendis, and he's got long hair. He's tall, but Bendis in the meantime has lost lots of weight. So I want to get those 2 pictures together: the one I took today, and the one from like 3 years ago at Rose City. I thought that'd be kind of cool. So Bendis signed, actually gave my son a copy of Naomi, which he's writing with Walker, which I thought was really cool. And then I brought stuff. Who dat? How you doing, Russell? And so I thought it was pretty cool. So I put down my books, and this is all I bought, and this was not. This was some of this was Mark Russell. So I was really excited to get stuff signed. So I somehow had missed Bendis on the free comic book day, Civil War II. There's something minor key about this, and I can't remember what it is, but I got that. I got that signed. I got a copy of Cover at Rose City Comic Con, but it was in a sealed poly bag. And I didn't want to open the poly bag, so I had David Mack sign the poly bag over this stupid comic. I don't know why I did that, but I did that, and but I never got Bendis to sign that one. So now I had bought an extra copy, got Bendis to sign it. I'll get David Mack to sign it someday. I got Bendis on Old Man Logan. The friend that I went down with, Jesse, I had given him my last copy of Old Man Logan #1 that was signed. He's a big fan of that series. It was funny, he brought a trade paperback of Old Man Logan to get signed. I brought like 10, 15 comics, but that's okay. And then I got David Walker to sign Bitterroot #1. I think this is a variant cover. I think Sanford Green is going to be at Emerald City, so I can get the artist on that. And then I don't know what the heck I was thinking. David Walker signed Naomi, and I love this variant cover, and a nice red marker down there. And then I just picked him up and put him back in the bag. I didn't get Bendis to sign my Naomi's, which was like, duh. So I got to go, and he's not doing any more cons this year. So I'm like, whatever. But then super, super psyched. They had this cover, which is like really, really cool. This cover was, you could get on eBay for $10 or whatever, but you can't, like, comic shop sold out of this one. I got a different one that I liked better, but this is the one that's become kind of more sought after with the meme going behind it. I also decided to pick up one of these since Bendis was there and signing. And then I got my two, Impulse covers, which I really like that cover. That's the one that I thought was the best cover, but not everybody agreed. So that was pretty cool, And then I just said, hey, is Mark Russell here? I was kind of joking. I'm like, I'm not stalking you on Twitter, but I heard you say that you were going to that he was going to meet you here or something. He's like, oh yeah, he's right over there. I'm like, that's Michael Oeming. It's like, no, he's next. Oh, he's not there. Mark, hey guys, is Mark here? If Mark's here, tell him to come back. And like Bendis is just calling him out, like past the line from the shop, and he's there. He walks over, and I'm like, oh my god, man! I bought books. I didn't know you were going to be here. I'm so psyched you're here, and I was kind of fawning over him because I just think Mark Russell's a great writer, and it was really cool. He signed my stuff. I talked to him. Here goes the voice again, man. So he signed my stuff. I got Red Sonja #1. And that's the one where he signed. It's kind of hard to see, but there it is. That's the Christian Ward cover. My absolute, man, I love the hell out of this series, Snagglepuss. And this is what I talked to him about the most, was the Snagglepuss Chronicles. And that was really cool, discussing that with him. So he signed that #1. I wish he had like some variants or more of them, but he only had paperbacks to sell. Anybody know who does this cover? I don't know who does this cover. This is Wonder Twins #1. I got that signed, and the regular cover, Wonder Twins #1. That's a good read. Like most of his stuff, he writes really well. He writes satire really well. Metaphor and allegory are right up his alley, and social satire. Flintstones, I got 3 copies of #1. This is variant. I think this is the regular one. This is the regular one. This is another variant. This is actually my favorite of the #1 covers. And then I had 2 copies of Lone Ranger, and he signed those. And what's cool about these is he was talking about how much he liked this cover. And he's like, I want that to be the cover of the trade. It's classic. And I've got a Lone Ranger that Dynamite put out in 2015. And it's Francisco Francavilla does the cover. And it's not that he's copying it, but it's the same Lone Ranger with the yellow background, so in the shape of Texas, I guess that's supposed to be. So I thought that was kind of cool that he does that same cover. So I was kind of psyched with that. And so, like, Not much else is going on. Like I said, it's going to be kind of quick, but I'm in too much pain from my back from that 4-hour car ride to do a whole thing. I got some shelves going up there now, and shout out to my son who said I had the Bionicles, the Star Wars Bionicles on the lower shelf, and he's like, no, put those in the middle. I bought 4 of those. I was going to do 2 across, but 2 across don't fit, so got to go back to IKEA and get the smaller one. So those are all X-Men at the top, kind of like my, hit X-Men books, and then my hit Miss Marvel books in the bottom, and then the Bionicles there. Been preparing for Emerald City Comic Con, so you can see all those 4 piles there are books that are going to get signed at Emerald City. There's the pile of books I've yet to read. There's a mini haul I haven't gone through yet and bagged, and there's still stickers in some of those. And there's the books I just got. And then over here we've got the new books, new Comic Day books. So let's talk about pick of the week number 7. So I am actually keeping my promise. 7 weeks in, getting pick of the week number 7 done. But it's a tough one for me because I didn't like any books this week. All right, so Batman 63, 65. I told you 2 weeks ago, I'm not a super fan of this like little Tom King break, Josh Williamson writing this interlude with Batman and Gotham Girl. I think it's cool that they're going back to Gotham Girl because that's what started this whole series off. But and it's not bad. I'm not like ripping on it. It just didn't love it. So I didn't love it. I sometimes find it hard to follow what's going on in 7 to Eternity, to be honest with you. The artwork is phenomenal. The direction that Rick Remender is taking this, I think, is good. The overall storyline of, Jed Asitis trying to like find a cure for whoever's death. Is he dying? I can't remember now. I think he's dying. And the fact that he's kind of teamed up with the Mud King, who's supposed to be his big enemy. His daughter's out, doesn't realize that she's almost fighting against her father, and the Mud King's son is in there. I mean, so there's lots of stuff going on, but he also took like a year break to write the Deadly Class TV series. So I kind of lost track of what was happening in this. Very similar to Black Science, like absolutely compelling looking artwork, story, and dialogue. But somewhere along the way, you lose a little bit of the thread, and you're kind of like, I love this comic. It still looks really good, but I'm not loving this comic. So hopefully he can get that back on track some way. I know somewhere through Black Science, like he did a course correction. It worked for a while and then kind of fell apart again. Lone Ranger, this ends the series. Out of everything Mark Russell's done, this might be my least favorite. I think it was a little too on the nose with like its criticisms or its critiques, its satire, without having too much of, I guess you're supposed to know the character of Tonto and the Lone Ranger and just accept it as it was. He didn't build those characters up the way, like when he reinvented Snagglepuss, he gave a nice backstory to Snagglepuss and kind of really made him a new character for us to learn again. And he didn't do that with the Lone Ranger. Just kind of threw them in. They're the good guys. They're friends forever. And then all the Western oil barons are the bad guys. And the good guys win in the end. And then here's this even more evil than the bad guy who's in here. And he gets his comeuppance. And that's the end of the story. So I didn't love that. Monstress, I just started finally getting this after getting the issue 1. And then I picked up in a little mini haul, like 6, 7, 8 the other day. But this is issue 20, and I'm not going to read this until I read everything else. So this very well might have been my pick of the week, but I'm not reading it because I hate reading out of order. It drives me crazy. I left this laying out on a bag that I get bags that have like the sticky back, so you can fold the flap over and you can see it ripped. This ticked me off. Naomi number 2. So, of course, because I'm me, I got a second Naomi number 2. This one will go in my box of comics that I let my students read at school. This probably wins my pick of the week. It advances the story, though not as much happens is the first issue is really tense and powerful. This one kind of slows down a bit, builds up a little bit more what's going on, but it's like her and her parents. So first it's her with a mechanic, and she's like, "How do you know the day I was adopted? Who are you? What the heck is going on?" And he just like throws her out of his shop and runs away. And this guy's like a big hulking character. Then she's talking to her mom and dad and accusing them of all this stuff. And they're like, "Oh no, everything's fine. Don't you know we love you?" She's like, "Yeah, you love me." And then she's typing away on her computer, talking to her friend. She's like, "Yeah, bullshit. I got to find out what's going on." She goes back to the mechanic shop and starts poking around and finding photos and finding a picture of him with someone that looks like it could be her mom. Um, so not a heck of a lot happened, but they're after the really powerful, great first issue, they're slowing down just a little bit and building up some more story and some more kind of like fleshing out what's going on. So in what I would call kind of week, I would say that this, hey, good night, Discover Bay. I know I'm keeping you guys up late. I would say that this is probably my pick of the week. So Naomi number 2, pick of the week there. Like I said, it wasn't that strong of a week, and Monstress doesn't get his fair share because I'm not actually reading it. So you got 2 viewers left. This was a little mini haul I got at different half price books the other day. And I didn't bag and board these yet. So I got Black Bolt number 3. I'm slowly working my way through the series. Black Bolt number 4, which I'm going to throw out because that is not artwork. That is a water stain. It looked like artwork at first, but that is actually in the middle of all that. There's like a splotch right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a splotch there that's not part of that beautiful color artwork. But the story is still really good. I can't wait to finish that one. Just because I picked up Cable. Just because I've got one, I picked up X-Men Micronauts 3, X-Men Micronauts 2. It was hard to find the last issues of a series. There is the Unwritten, number 54, the last one I was looking for. I've been looking for this one forever. Super psyched to get that. I don't know why I grabbed this. It was Avengers. It was Scrolls. I thought that was cool, so I grabbed it. Just filling out the ones I don't have. There's All New Wolverine 2. All of these were just half price, so I didn't have time to look at this one. This is a different store. They had a lot more, but my kids and wife were with me, and they did not want to be there. New Superman 16. Don't have this one. Don't have this one yet. Look at that. It's hotness. Love this series. Love the artwork. Love the covers on this series. Yes, I already have this one twice. Now I have it thrice. Thrice is nice. These are those monstresses I was talking about. So I'm getting closer to like filling myself in on the series, but I've read the first trade, which goes 1 through 6, and these start though with like 8, 9, and 10, or 8, 10, and 14. So I still need to get myself 7. Right here's 8, and then this is a funny one. I never seen that before. The Chew script. Kind of just like looks at the process of writing the first book. Now that I see this, I realize I've already done this haul once before. So I'm sorry. Just try not to waste your time. I assume that's still who that's here. And then Kaiju Max, another great series. I don't mind picking these up in back issues, but this is season 2. I think they're on season 3 or 4 now. Anybody's hasn't read Kaiju Max wants it good. It's basically using Japanese style monsters to tell the story of how prisons in the United States suck, how the whole prison system sucks and is corrupt and evil, and how it corrupts the people that are in it. Anyway, that's me. I wanted to get that stuff done. Otherwise, I'd start walking into this room and I'd see comics laying around and be like, oh, I haven't shown those yet. And I'd just start getting overwhelmed. And like during soccer season, man, I am overwhelmed. It's just really difficult. Because I get home late after the games. It's cold out. Still got my wife still taking classes. Kids still need to get dinner and taekwondo. So I took tonight, even though I've only got one watcher. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anybody watching this in rewind, leave a comment on your favorite book from this week or on anything else. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much.